It all starts with a question. What am I, Peter, doing with my life? My name is Peter, and this is Stacks and Facts. Hey everybody, so I wanted to make a video and let you all know of some things that are going on because oh boy, what a time in my life. Lots of things are happening and they are relevant to the channel, and so I wanted to let you know. So the first thing I want to tell you about is that apparently some folks found out that I have a YouTube channel that talks about libraries and information science, and they got really excited about it. And so a few months ago, I got an email from this wonderful person named Lisa, and Lisa was like, "Hi Peter, I'm with the American Library Association, and I was wondering if you wanted to do a panel at the American Library Association Midwinter Conference, talking about, I don't know, maybe libraries and YouTube?" Suffice to say, I said yes. That's a big deal. I'm very excited. Let me just throw that out there. I'm super excited to have been invited to the ALA Midwinter Conference. For my profession, for librarianship, I think maybe it's kind of a big deal as somebody who actually hasn't graduated yet or who is a librarian to be invited to do something like that. Especially because in December I'm graduating and hopefully will have a job as a librarian. More on that in a second. So yeah, what I'm presenting at a conference about this, about all of this and about y'all. So I hope you're ready for that. You're all gonna be famous, maybe, who knows? Who knows? Clearly I am a little out of sorts about this, but that's fine. So the next thing is I'm graduating in December. As hopefully most of you know, I am a grad student. I'm finishing up my Master's of Library and Information Studies at the University of British Columbia. I started this master's program back in September of 2016, and I finish in 3 months in December of 2018. And oh boy, what a thing. So that just in itself is super exciting and has so much impact on this channel. So for example, once I graduate, or before I graduate, I will be moving to a new place. So this is all gonna look different, perhaps not so different. It might affect my upload schedule, who knows? I hope not, because right now I'm still aiming for twice a month. So yes, big thing, I'm graduating, rad. And you know, since I'm going into my last term, I should really prepare for it. I should make sure that I'm giving folks good information. And so I guess my third announcement is that I decided to do a directed study for my last term, kind of as a final capstone, looking at how libraries can use YouTube for their own benefit and for the benefit of their communities. This is something that I've been wanting to do for quite a while, since I got here. When I started my program back in September 2016, I just wasn't really sure how to go about doing it or really what I wanted it to look like. But now that I have this presentation that I'm doing in January, I really have an impetus to do it. And so the way it's going to work is if you want to follow along, if you want to actually learn about how libraries and YouTube can play well together, I'm starting a blog, or I started a blog rather, and you can find it at www.petermusser.com/YTPL. Just guess what that stands for in the comments below. And yeah, each week I'm going to do a blog post talking about a different subject that relates to libraries and YouTube. So the first post I did is libraries and the internet and how they have, what their relationship looks like historically. And I think this week I'm going to be talking about how libraries, either how libraries use YouTube or how the duties of librarians overlap with what can be found on YouTube presently. Because there is a little bit of overlap there, and I think that's a very interesting thing to look at. But other things I want to talk about are like the ethics of libraries on YouTube and like where there's conflict and, you know, things like metrics and privacy and things like that, because I think that's all very super interesting. So we'll see how that goes. So that's number 3. Now, number 4, going back to that whole graduating thing, there's this thing about librarianship as a field. This thing is called work precarity. Now, work precarity within the context of libraries is the idea that you might be qualified to work as a librarian. You might have the master's degree and you might have work experience, but that does not guarantee you a job. And that is because in a lot of places where people want to work, there aren't jobs. That's because library budgets get cut. And that's frustrating. So one thing that I've decided to do to kind of cope with that is I have started a Patreon. Yes, that's right. I'm doing a Patreon. Now, I've done this, I've decided to do this for a few reasons. One is that I find myself in this unique position where what I do, I think, can ostensibly help lots of libraries in a lot of different places. The truth is that libraries can't afford somebody like me. And that's not like a pretension. It's just like libraries don't have budgets for video marketing or online marketing a lot of times. The exceptions being like New York Public Library or, I don't know, the Library of Congress, like these huge places. Most like public libraries can't just afford to have someone come and do video. So I am doing my Patreon as a way partly to speak up for them, to let people know what's going on in their realm, because libraries are rad, y'all, and they do a lot of really cool things that you just won't hear about. And so if I can use my own voice and my own platform to amplify that, I want to do that. And if I wanted to actually give y'all a chance to support me in that, if you want to. But I want to be clear that I'm never going to charge for any educational stuff if you can't afford it. That should not be a barrier to you learning about something that you want to learn about. So it's totally optional, but I would very appreciate it if you have the money to support me on Patreon. And you can find my Patreon at www.patreon.com/stacks@facts. And even if you aren't seeing yourself supporting me, I would still encourage you to go check it out. I had a blast putting it all together, and the different tiers that I put are actually straight up library facts that you might not already know. So have a look at that. So a funny thing about Patreon though and YouTube is that I can't actually put links to Patreon in the video. Like, you're not going to see a card popping up that says support Peter on Patreon, because the requirements to become a YouTube partner are to have 1,000 subscribers, which I have. Check, I've got like 1,500 and you're all great. But the other requirement is to have a cumulative 4,000 hours of watch time over the past 365 days. Now, at the moment, I have 1,200 hours of watch time over the past 365 days, so it'll be a little while before I get to that point. But once I do, I'll do another official launch. And now my final plug for supporting me on Patreon is this. Thanks to some generous donors, I already hit my first 2 milestones. And my first milestone was that for every person who pledged $5 or more per month, they would get a bookmark. And that bookmark I am going to live stream myself designing on this channel in Premiere, or not in Premiere, in Photoshop. So you can pop on and you can heckle me and you can be like, Peter, you're not a graphic designer, to which I will reply, you're right, I'm in library school. So that's all I've got. I'm very excited, as obviously I've got so many things going on in my life, so many irons in the fire. But all in all, I think it's going to work out really great. Oh, and then one other thing, I did apply for a job today, so I'm also still a little nervous about that. But who knows, it could happen. So yeah, I just, as always, I want to say thank you for watching. I really appreciate the support that you guys do. I know that there are lots of folks at universities around the world who actually watch my videos, and you know what? It's for you guys actually who I'm really excited to make videos for. I know that university can be super expensive and it can feel super lonely. And so if I can help you in any way to help you know that you're not alone in the suffering that you are experiencing, I feel good about that. So thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. Like this video. These are the things that you have to say on YouTube because it does things. And until next time, thanks for watching and don't forget to ask questions. Okay, bye.